Please be seated. Boy, it's great to see everybody here today. Welcome to the United States Sports Academy 2023 Commencement Ceremonies. We welcome our student candidates, their families and friends, our faculty and staff, and our Board of Trustees. We offer a special welcome to those joining us via streaming around the world, as our university has remained a global presence for over 50 years as the gold standard for higher education in sports. Seated in front of our proceedings are Dr. Fred Cromartie, Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Monique Carroll, our Alumnus of the Year, Dr. Robert C. Campbell III, our commencement speaker and honorary doctoral recipient for this year, and I am Steve Condon, the third president of the United States Sports Academy. I would like to take a moment to recognize Dr. T.J. Rosandich and Dr. Reggie Sykes, who are in attendance today, representing the Executive Committee of the Board of Trustees. Dr. Rosandich has served the university for over 40 years, and the last 7 as the university president. And Dr. Sykes is the retired president of Bishop State Community College. At this time, I'd like to introduce our speaker. I have the honor and privilege of introducing our speaker and doctoral recipient this morning, Dr. Robert C. Campbell III. Bob has served on our Board of Trustees since 1993, with most of that time spent as our legal counsel and chairman. After his address this morning, we will read his proclamation detailing his distinguished career of loyalty and service. For now, Bob joins an elite group of Academy graduates such as General Paul Kelly, the Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, General Norman Schwarzkopf, Commander of the U.S. Armed Forces, Ted Turner, Vince Dooley, Bud Selig, Dick Schultz, Pat Summitt, Billie Jean King, Condoleezza Rice, and even George W. Bush. This is just to name a few of the folks. Bob Campbell is now an elite member of a world-class group of leaders. Bob and Elaine have been married for 44 years. They have 4 children, David, Brett, Craig, and Nash. 3 of his children are attorneys. I guess that means Brett must be a neurosurgeon somewhere. They have 4 grandchildren, Jules, David, Evelyn, and Maggie. We'll confer law degrees on all 4 later this afternoon. We've asked Bob to address our graduates this morning. When he finishes, we will honor him with the United States Sports Academy highest form of merit. Please join me in welcoming today's commencement speaker and our chairman of the Board of Trustees, Robert C. Campbell III.
Sorry, I forgot my glasses, so I'm trying to see with progressive lenses, and sometimes you shake hands with doorknobs. But thank you, Dr. Condon. Thank you, board members, Board of Trustees, Executive Committee, for this honor, and thank you, faculty, for the honor. After 56 years of practicing law, which means you all can still learn since you practice law, I've come to see a lot of things in my life, and I would like to share some of the observations in my life that may be of some worth to you. Sport is more important right now than anything in our country when it comes to business, political activities, private or public sector. I was studying for the bar in 1967. I'm really only 35 years old, but school boards and litigation have done this to me. But in 1967, during the Vietnam War, I was being drafted the same time I was taking the bar exam. And I thought about, I'm out of control. I mean, if I take the bar the last 3 days in July, that's 8 hours a day on 18 subjects you learn in law school for 3 years. I'm being drafted at the same time. I'm supposed to report at Fort Dix for basic training, and I'll be in the infantry for the next 2 years, which I was. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take the bar in July, and I won't know if I pass until September, so I won't be knowledgeable of whether I pass until I'm in the Army. So if I don't pass the bar, I'm not going to be a lawyer, because I'll be going to Vietnam or somewhere else. And 2 years after you learn the law that you pass, the bar, study for the bar for, that's 18 subjects, 3 years. The bar is 3 days, 8 hours a day. So to do that 2 years later would be impossible. So I sat down and I said, Dad, I'm confused. I'm out of control. And he said, it's a circumstance you have to have. I'm trying to get through this. He said, it's a circumstance that is that you have to deal with the best way you can. And I said, well, what about them? I mean, how? He says, well, son, he said, I really don't think we're in control of anything in our life. Not complete control anyway. He said, you can't control your life. You can't control the outcome of where you're going to be in the Army, whether you pass the bar. You do the best you can. But he said to me, you can lose your job, you can lose your money, you can lose your family, your kids, your political power. You can lose your health. He said, I really don't think God gives us any control over that, but God does give us one thing. He says, he gave us a conscience. And he said, he gave you the right to choose right or wrong in life. And he said, make good choices because bad choices will get you in trouble. God gave you the right to be honest or dishonest. You can make those decisions. That's about the only thing you're really in control of. If you cross the Rubicon from honesty to dishonesty, don't get in the gray area because you're already going to be dishonest. So the best way I can tell you about integrity is being a leader in the world of sport or any other endeavor that you choose to go into after you graduate. To quote General Dwight D. Eisenhower, and then President of the United States, he said, the supreme quality for leadership is unquestionably integrity. Without it, there's no real success. No real success is possible, no matter whether it's on a section gang, a football field, in an army, or in an office, including the Oval Office. So integrity is an important part of your leadership, probably the most important part of your life. Communication. Problems in life that you have, your ups and downs, we call them the discouraging vicissitudes of life or the ups and downs, you're going to meet every time you do anything in life that's worth a darn. And they can't be solved by, the competing interests of people, political issues, moral issues, school issues, sport issues, cannot be solved without real communication. And I don't mean communication by emails back and forth, look at your laptop, texting needless information back and forth. You need human interaction. And there's a lot of distraction going on in our world with the information, disinformation, or information, whatever you want to call it, lies, truths, who knows. Most of it you hear on TV is all hearsay anyway. It's someone telling you about what somebody else did, but you don't know if they really did it or said it. So hearsay is never admissible in court because of that reason. There's no great probability of truth of hearsay. So you have to really study and know what things are going on and what's around you at the time. And the best important, I think, story of communication, real communication, not cell phones, not emails, not laptops, and not virtual meetings, is best described by the POWs in the Vietnam War. They were shot down, Navy pilots, Air Force pilots shot down in North Vietnam and put in a prison called Hanoi Hilton, which is, my brother had 3 tours of Nam, brother-in-law too, and I wasn't about to not go in the Army. They got out as full-board colonels, they were heroes. But they weren't captured. And these guys were captured, POWs. And when I tried the Supreme Court case, I won in district court about prayer not being unconstitutional in public schools, which in the 60s it was declared unconstitutional. And I had to show the judge that, and it was a 2-week trial, that the Constitution, the First Amendment of the Constitution Establishment Clause did not prohibit prayer in public, much less in public school. And I had to try that as a defense lawyer representing a school board, which went to the Supreme Court. During the course of that case traveling from the district court, which is where you really try the cases because that's where you have the witnesses, the experts, your cross-examination, you have your trial, you sift out the truth. Well, during that course, I met Admiral, at that time, U.S. Senator Jeremiah Denton. And Jeremiah Denton became a very good friend of mine. He asked me to appear to speak to thousands of people in front of the Washington Mall when he was trying to put a constitutional amendment through to allow prayer in school and certainly not make prayer devoid of any public arena. So I went there, and I'm on the stage with thousands of people talking about the First Amendment Establishment Clause. What did Congress mean? And I won't get into details of the case, but I'm on the stage with Jerry Falwell, Pat Boone, myself, and Senator Denton, and spoke, and we became good friends after that. And I asked him one day, how did you withstand the isolation and the brutal torturing while you're in POW called the Hanoi Hilton and all your other POWs? He said, communication. And it was reiterated, the communication he told me by a guy named Michael McGrath, who also was a POW, shot down, later became a general in the Air Force. And I said, communication, I remember you being to Denton on national, international TV when all the public had been told that our prisoners over there were under good circumstances. They were being treated, Geneva Conference procedures, and also not being tortured, treated nice, and under humane conditions. And it wasn't until Jeremiah Denton got on national TV and he used Morse code. They didn't have cell phones or laptops in prison. He used Morse code, and he Morse code the letters torture. From that part on, the whole world knew that our prisoners of war would be tortured. So, from that point on, he was put up as a propaganda stunt, dressed up like he was okay, and could not say anything, and had to say nothing bad about the conditions, or be tortured again as soon as they got off their stage. And he said, torture. Well, Mike McGrath brought up on Sunday morning, Jane Pauley, I guess 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they asked him, how did you survive all the isolation and torture? He says, well, we used to tap Morse code on the concrete wall, and the other isolated prisoner would tap back, and they communicated through Morse code. And he said, wow, the person, Jane Pauley, says, and he showed him how he did it. He said, communication kept us alive. He said communication was the key to saving their lives. It gave us strength, the organizational leadership, and the inspiration to continue to resist. Modern day technology would not have helped the POWs. You're talking about, as I mix up my notes, you know, when I go to court, I don't have to, you know, I looked at notes and I changed it around and I just would wing it. But when you're 80, you can't wing it anymore. So,
Your Honor.
You can't, even Albert Einstein, I don't have the quote, he said, if technology continues to increase, and I'll find that quote somewhere, but it's interesting that Albert Einstein would say this. He says, the day technology will surpass our human interaction, the world will have a generation of idiots. So let's go to leadership, integrity, communication, to sports. And you're all here. You've sacrificed to be here. Your faculty has sacrificed to get you here. Your parents have sacrificed, your families, because you believe in sport being that important today in our society. I don't think there's anything that can teach the skills that sport can. Our political leaders need it. Our private sector CEOs and private corporations need it. Let me tell you about the sports, in one way or another, how it affects your life. The skills that are taught so you can have the staying power to withstand the discouraging ups and downs in your life. You don't just sit there and say, I can't score another point. They score. You don't do that in the courtroom. You just say, well, that witness went south. Oh, I better quit. No, you got to be cool, play it, and find that rabbit in the hat that wins the case. Well, sports teaches you this. Number one, cooperation. Number two, fair play. Number three, self-esteem. Number four, integrity. Number five, tolerance. Number six, teamwork. Number seven, confidence. Number eight, problem solving. Number nine, respect for others. Number 10, communication. Number 11, trust. Number 12, discipline. Number 13, respect for the rules of law, or respect for the rules of law and order. Number 14, leadership. 15, how to lose. And 16, how to win. Wouldn't it be great if all of our political leaders had 1/3 of those skills? Now, gender. You know, I get involved with school board law with Title IX quite a bit, representing school systems. And Title IX was passed in 1972 to bring equality to education for women and in sports. In fact, I'd like to try that case someday, because if you went to a district court, especially in the Southern Division here, you could show with the intent, by putting the intent on by the people that passed it, the legislators, expert witnesses, to say, what was the intent of Title IX? Title IX's intent was to make sure you got no federal funding if you didn't have equality in women's sports and equality in education. Even an amendment to the Civil Rights Act of 1964, equality in the workplace. So we have to assure that women are going to be able to compete in sports with equality. And if you look at the statistics, before Title IX, 4% of our girls participated in sports, organizational sports. That's before Title IX, 1972. By 2016, 40% of our women participated in sports. We have to make sure the girls and women continue to participate in sports. And if necessary, somebody has to prove in court that the intent was not inequality. But now we're having equality by law, mandated by law, turned into an inequality. You only can fix that in court. You can't fix it up in Washington, D.C. Only in court. Youth. I'll go as quick as I can, because you're supposed to yank me off the stage.
Neither one of us are going to do it, Bob.
Youth. We cannot have sports in this world without youth participation. It's been a consensus of leaders in the sports that youth participation is to be encouraged as the best tool for growth and development. It is my belief, as well as many sport organizational leaders, that sports participation is among the best methods to prepare our youth for productive roles in society. The student athletes have better career opportunities. They tend to have higher levels of success in whatever fields they choose to endeavor. Let's face it, without kids growing up participating in sports, you will have no high school sports, you will have no college sports, and you will have no professional sports. So they want to do away with God, they want to do away with the country, they want to do away with the family, some people. When you have no kids, no family, there will be no more sport. It will be over. And that's probably the, TJ, how much billions does the sport make? In that, the organization of sports and that sport world, how much money do they make a year?
They do very well. And in fact, as you said, those individuals that come through sports, student athletes, have a better career trajectory than non-athletes. And that's been proven empirically, not only in this country, but in Europe.
But it's also $1 million, billions of dollars
Oh, the economic turnover?
Right, that's what I was asking,
You're
TJ.
talking about $250 billion a year.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
where you gotta buy a ticket. And sports employs probably 8 to 9 million people directly or indirectly in this country.
So do we want to do away with sports? With all those skills taught by sports that give great leadership, great communication, great integrity that helps in any field you go into in life, do we want to do away with sport? If sports is gone, U.S., we are in deep trouble. Commitment. Graduates, please be committed in everything you do in life. Commitment is not merely an idea or an agreement. It's a mindset. It's a mindset to get the job done and get it done right, no matter what it takes. That's commitment. A lot of people say they're committed. Another thing, seeing in the world of law, and I think Tom Owar can tell, my good friend, he's an excellent bank attorney, the mayor of Dauphin Island. He's the best mayor in the whole world. But anyway, he's also my boss. But the courage it takes, and I've seen in my legal life, in associates, partners, senior partners, politicians, sometimes people are oblivious because they lack the courage to take notice of what needs fixing and do something about it. Especially in these times in our country and world, be brave in this regard. If you see what's right, you have to act and make sure it's not turned into a wrong within sports. You must act. You must be courageous. And finally, optimism. Be positive and optimistic in everything you do in life. And I guess the best quote I've ever heard is Michael Fox with that dreaded disease, suffering and still living. He was asked on the news something, I guess, 60 Minutes or somewhere, and I wrote down immediately what he said. How do you survive? You know, you're not going to be here much longer, which I thought was a bad question to ask a person. And that's the way they put it. You're not going to be here long, Jane Pauley said. How are you going to deal with this? And he says, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. If you find something to be grateful for, then you find something to look forward to. And then you just carry on. I'm emotional about this because I didn't want it. But I want to thank Dr. Condon. I want to thank TJ and Tom Rezanich and the Rezanich family for allowing me to be the longest chairman of the board to serve in a long period of time. And I want to say one thing. I wish to thank my wife, Elaine, my 4 sons. Elaine is a saint. Do you want to put this on now, saint? If I could not be successful in any of my professional endeavors without my wife and my good family to go home to. When you leave work late at night, or you leave the courtroom, federal or state court, you live in litigation for 56 years of your life. You're litigating all the time, school boards, federal and state courts. And you've got to come home to some sense of stability, peace, and quiet. My wife and my 4 sons have given that to me. Last thing I want to say, go in peace and love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins and a multitude of bad choices. Thank you. I think I'm going to have to convince myself when he starts this business, because I'm really alive, and I think he's going to read an overrated eulogy. So.
No way to follow Bob, but first, we've created the new academic emblem for our 50th year, which we get to celebrate for another year. And this will be the first university recipient of the doctoral emblem. And Monique will receive one as will our doctoral students. And you know the history of the Academy, TJ's father and TJ. Emblems and medals have long been revered. So Robert C. Campbell will be the first recipient of that with his honorary degree. And Craig, I'm sorry you came because I'm actually going to ask you to read this incredible proclamation. I am. I'm a son and a dad. And if someone would have given me this opportunity to read this for history about their father, well, we put a hood and give him his medal and the degree he doesn't want. Greg, if I could, Atticus Finch, come forward and read your father's. This is just a piece of a very special man's life, as TJ knows. So listen carefully to what this man has achieved.
And warning you now, I've not read this before, so.
Don't cross anything out or add anything.
Proclamation, Robert C. Campbell III, Esquire. Whereas the United States Sports Academy, America's sports university, desires to acknowledge and honor those who have distinguished themselves through outstanding leadership and achievement in sports, sports education, and in sports-related professions. And whereas Robert C. Campbell III has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to sport education, and the law as an athlete, as an attorney, and as the longest-serving chairman of the board of the United States Sports Academy. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III has maintained the highest standard of integrity and ethical behavior while supporting the mission of the United States Sports Academy, while interacting with local, national, and international communities, and while providing countless hours of legal, professional, and practical advice to 2 presidents of USSA. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III is nationally recognized and honored for over 50 years of commitment to the practice of law and as a member of the bar in all courts in the state of Alabama, U.S. federal district courts, U.S. federal courts of appeals, and the U.S. Supreme Court. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III has appeared before the U.S. Supreme Court in numerous cases regarding constitutional issues pertaining to school desegregation, voting rights, and school prayer. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III serves the community as a member of the board and of Alabama Association of Independent Colleges and Universities, as well as a member of the Board of Trustees of the United States Sports Academy since 1993, and chairman of the Board of Trustees for 24 years since 1999. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III was founding and senior partner of the law firm Sense Campbell Duke from 1973 to 2019, and is presently a member of the law firm Adams and Reese, a global law firm with over 20 offices in 12 states and Washington, D.C. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III actively contributed to the local legal, educational, and business community as Chief Assistant District Attorney, Mobile County, 1970 to 1973, Adjunct Law Professor, University of South Alabama, 1971 to 1987, Assistant City Attorney, City of Mobile, 1973 to 1981, Assistant Juvenile Judge, Mobile County Youth Center, 1975 to 1978, Attorney of the Board of School Commissioners, Mobile County School System, 1976 to 2003, Attorney for the Sheriff of Mobile County, 1995 to 2002, General Counsel, Alabama School of Math and Science, 1991 to present, Town Attorney, Town of Dauphin Island, 1999 to present, Board Attorney, Mobile County Board of Equalization, 2004 to present, Chairman of the Board for a regional bank in Mobile for 12 and a half years. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III was the lead attorney responsible for the creation of multiple city school systems and currently serves as a school board attorney for 5 different city school systems: Saraland, Satsuma, Chickasaw, Gulf Shores, and Orange Beach. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III proactively contributes to and participates in national and local organizations, including President of the Federal Bar Association Mobile Chapter, Alabama State Bar Association, Alabama Council of School Board Attorneys, past president, Alabama American Bar Association, Mobile Bar Association, National School Board Association Council of School Attorneys. Whereas Robert C. Campbell III has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to sport, education, and the law, and has been recognized with the following awards and certifications. Martindale-Hubbell peer review rated, highest possible rating in both legal ability and ethical standards. Martindale-Hubbell Judicial Edition, highest possible rating for the judiciary by the judiciary for legal ability and ethical standards. Martindale-Hubbell Bar Register for preeminent lawyers for 38 consecutive years. Best Lawyers, Education Law, Commercial Law, Litigation, First Amendment, Litigation, Labor and Employment, and Litigation Municipal. Georgetown College Alumni Achievement Award 2001. Pi Kappa Alpha Hall of Fame 1999. Now let it be known near and far that Robert C. Campbell III received a Bachelor of Arts degree from Georgetown College, where he played basketball and was the captain of the varsity tennis team. Received his JD degree from Cumberland School of Law at Stanford University, where he was a student bar representative, vice president of the Law School Bar Association, and proudly served in the United States Infantry attached to the JAG from 1967 to 1969. For these and his selfless dedication to the mission and vision of the United States Sports Academy, be it hereby recognized that as unanimously voted by the Board of Trustees and through the power vested in me by the state of Alabama, we award Robert C. Campbell III the Academy's honorary doctorate, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. Signed this 18th day of May. I think you need to take over.
How about that, huh? How about that? Come on up, Bob. That's good. Here we go. So, Doctor, you're going to put his medal on first?
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Bear with me.
Great, thank you.
That was pretty good. Wasn't good about me, but that's pretty good.
I didn't mess your hair up.
Perfect. You get his diploma?
Together, huh? Many years together.
Yes.
26 to be exact.
Who's counting?
Here we go, Bob. You ready? All right, let's do it. Thank you, my friend. My pleasure. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Next.
I got one more speech now.
Oh, you're ready. Now for our alumna of the year, Dr. Monique Carroll. She's currently the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at Chicago State University. Proud to say, my hometown. An experienced collegiate athletics administrator with more than a decade of work experience and movement. Dr. Carroll is the United States Sports Academy's 2023 Alumna of the Year. She earned her master's in sports science degree in sports management from the Academy. Proud to say that I had her in class as well. Before earning her doctoral degree in sports management from North Central University, Dr. Carroll's recognition and organizational memberships include the NCAA Division I National SAAC Representative for the SWAC, NCAA Committee on Women's Athletics, NCAA Effective Facilitation Workshop, Women's Leaders in College Sports, NADCA, NADA, and a whole bunch of N's. A whole lot of them. She has a multitude of experience, and I am proud to have her be the representative and the award winner for the Alumnus of the Year. Dr. Carroll.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. So first, I definitely would like to thank the United States Sports Academy and all involved with the selection of this award. When I received the notification, I was humbled. I looked at the previous recipients of this award and just took a moment just to reflect on my journey at the Academy and what it has done for me in my career thus far. So thank you for just selecting me for this honor. Definitely like to thank President Condon, the Board of Trustees for inviting me to be present today and just say a few words to the graduates of the United States Sports Academy. Want to start with acknowledging my support system who travels near and far. I have been 6 different states chasing the dream of being a Division I athletic director. Probably have a couple more states left in me, but there's some people when I look out in the audience, if I don't know anyone else, it's always 2. My parents, been together 40 years, Larry and Charlene Carroll, thank you all for being here today. And then thank you to my partner who always shows up for me, stays up late night, early morning, has turned into my email editor. When I want to say some things, she tells me take a breath, wait till the morning, don't say that yet. So thank you for being here today. To the families here today, definitely I hope you enjoy taking this moment too. I've had some time this morning to talk with some of the graduates of the Academy about their journeys, what they're doing now, what they want to do next, and no one does it alone. So to the families that are here, thank you for lending, and online, thank you for lending your loved one to the Academy, because I know it's not easy, late nights, early mornings, missing events to be able to accomplish this milestone. So this is all for you too. I'm sure the graduates will tell you that while today is about them, they would not be here without you. So thanks for the families in attendance. And so now, the most important individuals in the room today, the graduates. I can tell you today is going to be the first day of the rest of your life. That commencement is not an ending, but a beginning, or all the other cliches that you hear this time of year. But that wouldn't be accurate, because that day started, the first day of your life started the day you were born, and every decision you've made up until the decision to attend the Academy has led you to this place right here where you're destined to be. I just want to take a moment and let you know, obtaining a degree, and we have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and doctoral degrees, is an amazing accomplishment. There will be more people sitting here, more people online, if anybody could do it. It takes a tremendous amount of dedication, resolve, focus to be able to finish something. So congratulations to you on being able to finish, and just continue to hold your head high for this extraordinary accomplishment. I can say that for me, when it comes to higher education, I did not know there was an option to not go to college. I just thought that's something everyone did. My 2 siblings before me went to college, so that was just a natural part of what was happening. Now, I did know it was an option to get a master's degree or a doctoral degree. And so when that time came, I was able to really look around at what I wanted to do with my career, where I wanted to go. And I was living in Birmingham, Alabama at the time, and Googled sports management degree, started doing my research. I actually had to choose between Wake Forest School of Business and the United States Sports Academy. And if I had to do it again, I would still choose to be here at the Academy. The things I'll leave with you today are my 5 E's. These are things I bring with me throughout my personal life, throughout my professional journey, and I hope that each of you can resonate with 1 E or all 5 E's as you go forth and do the work that you come to the Academy to be able to do. So the first E, embrace. It is easy in this world of upward movement. Dr. Campbell alluded to it, technology, everything moving so fast. We get caught up on what's next. It's important that we embrace where we are now. Take in the moment, sit still. If you're at a job now where you've used this for upward movement, embrace your current position. I think sometimes in higher education, in the world, in life, we are moving so fast, trying to see what's next, that we do not really embrace the current moment and the current opportunities that's right in front of us. If you're at a university or a high school, what are the traditions? Do you stand when they sing the alma mater, even if you didn't go there? Are you fully invested in the full experience of where you're currently working? The next one is engaging. Anybody can show up every day and say, I'm here. But are you really engaged? Who did you meet? I know I've connected with a couple people this morning so far on LinkedIn, but what can you walk away with? What alumni have you networked with in the academy? What stakeholders? What board of trustees? They don't show up everywhere. So this may be your only opportunity to really have an engaging conversation with someone to be able to continue to expand your network and grow. So I challenge you in that way to do not stay in your box. Elevate. Always look for an opportunity to improve your current situation. So whatever role you are in, look for an opportunity. How can I make this better? How can I bring a little something extra to the table? How can I stand out? And those are the people that get promoted. Not the people chasing the promotion, but the people that are really being very strategic about doing the job they currently have very well. Look for ways to elevate the experience of your colleagues. If you work with students, your student athletes, all the people that you serve, look for those opportunities just to make their day this much better. Efficiency. So I'll get the last two words are very boring. This is where the doctorate degree probably comes in, but I promise it's very helpful. So efficiency. Everyone. I have 7 positions open right now in Chicago State. That is a plug, but everyone is looking for people who want to operate with efficiency. What are the things that you can bring to the table in everyday life? Everyone at this point probably has an Alexa, a smart plug, a smart remote, some form of technology, a cell phone. Those were created, well, I won't say why they were created, but those can help us be more efficient. And then the last word, effectiveness. And I couple those two together because you can do a lot, but is it effective? Yeah, I tell people all the time, do you show up to work or do you show up to work? I would challenge you, don't just do a bunch of stuff. In your networking and your communications with people and your engagement, do some meaningful things. Make sure everything you're doing is effective. And so those are my 5 E's. I'll say them again. Embrace, engage, elevate, and do it in a way that's efficient and effective. So the last couple things I'll say, you are now alumni of the United States Sports Academy. So I really challenge you to put your pictures from today, put them in your office, put them around your home. If you work from home, put the plaque, the great plaque that you got in the background, and let everybody in the world see that you are a graduate of the United States Sports Academy. Be an ambassador for this great institution who is going to help you, if it has not already. I can guarantee it will help you reach the goals you're trying to meet as long as you're doing your part. As you leave here, continue to be visionary in your lives. Be a person that forces people to be excited about what's in store for the future. Be a connector. Be somebody who's unapologetically not afraid to share the story of how you got to this point in life and empower others to be on the same path. One of the quotes I like to say is, live as you rise. I want to say congratulations again to all the graduates for this life-changing accomplishment, and thank you again to the Academy for this award.
Another plaque for your office.
Dr. Condon, graduates, members of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to bring to you the graduates of the United States Sports Academy. Bachelor's degree graduates, please rise. I bring to you our bachelor students.
Amy Huster, magna cum laude.
Thank you.
Vicky Mingle, magna cum laude.
I bring to you our master's degree graduates.
Sherry Branscombe. Graduation with honors. Dominique McCoy. Radinko Miskovic.
Congratulations, good job.
Elisa Rhodes with honors. Susie Rodriguez.
I now bring to you our doctoral students. Please rise.
Got a hood and medal there, right?
Yep.
April Bell.
Baby.
How about that rock's done with you? Congratulations, Doc.
Roy Huckabee with honors.
All right, thank you for coming down. Yes, sir. Teaching at Liberty. That's right. You ready? Yes, I am. Congratulations,
Holbrook MacArthur. Noemi Zaharia.
It's an Olympic athlete and medalist. Professor and department chair up at Alabama Huntsville. Married to another Olympic medalist. In the audience as well, finishing his doctorate. Okay.
Dr. Condon, I present to you the graduates of the United States Sports Academy 2023.
Thank you, Dr. Cromartie. So Mississippi State football game broke out in the graduation. Acting on the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the United States Sports Academy, the state of Alabama, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree of bachelor's, master's, and doctorate of education with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto. Welcome to our Guild of Sports Scholars and very proud alumni. You may move your tassels from the left front to the right front on your mortarboards if you have not already. At this time, I ask that you face your families and applaud their time, effort, and support that they've given you in pursuit of this degree. please take a moment to show appreciation for our faculty in attendance and around the globe as they assisted you in your higher ed journey. Before we conclude the program, I would like to thank all those who have helped in the preparation and participation in this event, and in particular Christy, Melissa, Ashley, Ed, Taylor, and Braxton, the whole USSA crew, who continue to provide excellent care and service. This concludes our commencement ceremonies for today. We will proceed out of the room and then remain for pictures for the families.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask that you allow us to depart before you start taking pictures and moving around. Thank you.
That famous song that TPR loves so much, part of the channel. Play it, yeah.